So you heard us reference kind of the bigger segments of this new law change, and we talked about what's changing, what's not changing. Bodily injury liability, that's a mouthful. We're going to reference it as BI. And what is this? What this is it's protection for you and any driver in your household if they were to injure somebody else. So,
Coverage you already have this coverage on your policy.
Yep. It's coverage that's always existed. It's just now they're tweaking it ever so slightly. We'll get into the specifics with those options in a minute. But the fact of the matter is a very important coverage. And again, this is that scenario where maybe you are at fault in an accident and you injure another driver. They need to be taken to the hospital, and 30 days later you get a note from an attorney. This is where your insurance policy covers your liability for the injury that you caused.
Yeah, if you probably have heard the term, if you're stuck with us this far in these videos, PLPD. The PL part is personal liability. It's talking about this bodily injury liability piece of things. And what's changing with this law, and I think it's an important thing that we stress, is because people can now choose medical coverage options, they can now sue if they don't have enough coverage. Wasn't the case before, because we're all driving on the road and we all have unlimited coverage. So I couldn't sue Adam, Adam being the worst driver, so we'll say he hits me, which would be more likely. He hits me and I have medical injuries. Well, the old way of doing things, I had unlimited, it doesn't matter. Because all my medical bills are covered. I can't sue him for that. I could sue for other things, but I couldn't sue for the medical piece. Now in this situation, let's say I choose one of the lower options and I have a catastrophic injury, and now I've got these bills that are stacking up, I can sue Adam for that difference. So that's certainly going to be a change that we see in the industry over the course of the next months and years, as we will see lawsuits regarding medical payments and that sort of thing. That's why your BI limits are very critical. We'll go through more specifically with each carrier of how you choose those limits and what limits you should choose. 250, 500, or 250,000 per person, 500,000 per accident, which we'll reference as 250, 500, kind of being that new minimum. But closely tied into that is umbrellas. An umbrella is just what it sounds like. Kind of covers you over top of everything, but more specifically referencing to the auto insurance piece.
Yeah, and one other important thing to reference here is you don't know what other drivers have out on the road. I mean, to Mark's point is you don't. I mean, how many drivers are uninsured? How many are going to be selecting maybe these lower limits that maybe our agency wouldn't recommend, but they maybe get from the get-go on the internet? Those are things that, hey, we can do our job and offer you things and offer these protections, and it becomes more important maybe now than ever to be in a place to consider these higher limits and go into this umbrella. You may have thought about this in the past. You may have said, hey, I'm not necessarily sure if I need one. Maybe you had an attorney or an accountant recommend one. If you're on the fence, now's certainly the time to make that leap. And say, hey, for a couple $100, really, that's where rates start, a couple $100 annually. If you have more toys, more exposures, obviously that price goes up accordingly. But the fact of the matter is it's more affordable than people think. And you've seen a common theme here throughout these videos. We're going to err towards protection. You're probably going to hear us reference this throughout our conversations, whether it's with Mark and I or someone else at our agency. But if you want to know a little bit more about that, certainly reach out, let us know. It's something we can turn around a quote in literally same business day and get that over to you. And again, with so much unknown, now's really the time to start considering that.
Yeah, I was just going to reference, I really liked when you said that there's not a better time to consider it. We really feel that there is going to be a shift in the litigation piece. We're going to see more and more lawsuits. Definitely. With some of these changes we've made. While there's benefit to them, they could put some money in people's pockets in terms of their savings. We are going to see more lawsuits and that sort of thing. And an umbrella is a extraordinarily affordable way to add some of that additional coverage. So again, when you've had the chance to get all that paperwork and review it, you give us a call. That's something we'll be glad to talk about and get some more specific dollars to see what we can do with it.
And oversimplifying that umbrella piece, it's additional liability over that auto insurance. So we've talked about filing suits or being sued. It starts at $1 million in additional coverage over what you already have on your policy. So you can get up to a $5 million umbrella. Again, more affordable than people tend to think. And if you want to talk through some of these options with what it means for you, don't hesitate to reach out.